Hello, friends. What time do you usually wake up? I'm often up at 3 a.m. I don't always pray long in the morning, but I do think of God, whisper a few requests for the day, and then I get to work. It's become my habit. I'm sharing this because maybe you and I have something in common. But for today's prayer, I sense the Lord is inviting both of us to more than asking for a few things to make life easier. Mornings arrive differently for each person, yet we can share one holy thread, meeting God. Without you, Lord, I can do nothing. That simple confession is our way of saying He knows our hearts completely. And this morning prayer is about recognizing that He walks with you and pours out grace every single dawn. So let's offer this prayer to the Lord together. Let's begin. Let this be the hour you choose closeness over hurry. You wake before the world is loud, and in the quiet you admit what your heart already knows. Without Him, your strength frays fast, your plans feel heavier than they look, and your peace slips through your fingers. So you set your intentions in His hands. You don't have to perform. You don't have to impress Him. You only have to be honest. Tell the truth inside you. You want to live today with Him, not beside Him. You want grace to be the first light on your face and the last word in your decisions. Jesus already said it, and your spirit agrees. Without me, you can do nothing. John 15:5. That's not a threat. It's an invitation to rest from carrying what only He can carry. So you bring Him what is scattered, the thoughts that loop, the tension behind your eyes, the small resentment you keep pretending isn't there, the fear of not being enough, the worry about money, the ache for family harmony, the unseen fatigue you shoulder for everyone else. Place it all in His open palms. Let this morning be your surrender made simple. You release your agenda and ask for His alignment. You lay down your urgency and receive His timing. You open your calendar like a door and invite Him to walk every hallway with you. He is not far. He is not slow. He is not disappointed in your need. He delights to be needed. Breathe and remember who you are to Him. You are the one He sought when you were not seeking. You are the one He keeps when you feel unkeepable. You are the one He strengthens when you have run out of reasons. Talk to your soul the way David did. Be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46:10. When you choose stillness for a moment, you are not freezing your life. You are fastening your life to the one who does not move. In that quiet, picture His kindness standing at the threshold of your day, not demanding, not shaming, just offering Himself. Take His hand. Let Him set the pace. Walk slower inside even if the world asks you to hurry. Today, entrust your heart first. All the feeling and unfeeling, the grief you don't name, the hopes you don't say out loud. He can hold what you cannot articulate. Entrust your mind. Ask for clean thoughts, wise filters, holy imagination. Let Him prune the stories you tell yourself about failure and replace them with the truth of His nearness. Entrust your plans. If He redirects you, it's not punishment, it's protection. If He opens a door you didn't knock on, it's not random, it's mercy. Entrust your family. Speak their names into His presence, not as orders, but as offerings. Entrust your work. May every task become an altar where faithfulness matters more than applause. Entrust your health. Let Him steady your breathing, calm your nervous edges, and lead you toward choices that honor His temple, your body. Entrust your past. He has already walked through it with you. Entrust your future. He is already standing in it. Entrust your will. He will not crush it. He will convert it into something freer. Now decide, again to trust, not as a mood, but as a muscle. You grow it by leaning your weight into Him. Whisper it to your own chest. I trust you with what I see. I trust you with what I don't. If anxiety rises, don't wrestle it alone. Bring it into the conversation. Tell Him exactly where it sits in your body and what it tells you will go wrong. Then ask for the better word, the one He speaks over storms and over you. Remember, trust does not cancel responsibility. It clarifies it. Your part is obedience. His part is outcome. Your part is honesty. His part is healing. Your part is showing up. His part is showing the way. Let your first choices preach the prayer your lips just prayed. Answer the message without hurry. Drink water like gratitude. Step into the sunlight for a moment and let it touch your face as a sign that grace is not theoretical, it's tactile. If you drive, drive with Him. If you commute on foot, walk with an inner conversation alive and simple. Guide me, keep me, use me. If conflict arises, pause before you defend yourself and ask for the tone that heals more than it wins. If opportunity appears, consult Him before you grab it. Let Proverbs remind you gently, trust in the Lord with all your heart, and He will make straight your paths. Proverbs 3:5-6. Straight does not mean easy. It means guided. Bless your work of the day. Not the title, not the impression, but the actual labor. You invite the Holy Spirit into your emails, your meetings, your measurements, your teaching, your caregiving, your hidden errands that nobody sees. Ask for clean motives and quiet courage. Ask for eyes to notice those who are carrying a secret weight, and for words that don't perform but comfort. Ask for protection from distraction that looks like duty, from cynicism that masquerades as wisdom, from weariness that whispers you're alone. You are not alone. Heaven is not distant, it's active. Angels are not metaphors, they are messengers. Grace is not a concept, it is mercy made specific for you. If you have failed, do not rehearse it again. Confess it, receive mercy, and pivot. The cross did not miss a single angle of your story. If you are waiting, do not interpret delay as denial. Ask for the patience that is not passive, but expectant. If you are grieving, allow the man of sorrows to sit with you until your breath evens out. He is not threatened by tears. If you are celebrating, invite him to the table so your joy is kept from becoming self-satisfaction. In all of it, keep returning, tiny returns, minute by minute if you must. Prayer is not a performance you complete. It is a companionship you continue. Speak blessing over the people you will meet, those you love and those who test you. Pray for gentleness that is not weakness, but bridled strength. Pray for wisdom that lands softly. Pray for holy boldness when truth is needed. Pray for a listening heart that hears pain beneath opinions. Ask for a clean tongue. Words can heal like oil or bruise like stone. Choose oil. If you make a mistake, choose repair over pride. If you are misunderstood, choose peace over proving. If you are overlooked, choose a secret place over self-promotion. The Father who sees in secret will not forget you. And when fear tries to argue that you are on your own, anchor again. You are in His presence. The shepherd of your soul knows the terrain ahead and the turns you cannot predict. He has gone before you into rooms you will enter today. He has prepared consolation you haven't tasted and courage you haven't used. Let your body agree with your belief. Unclench your jaw. Lower your shoulders. Slow your pace. Not everything requires urgency. Everything requires Him. So receive what you asked for at the start: companionship and grace. Let the morning be marked by a quiet confidence that doesn't need to be loud to be real. If you feel small, remember small in His hands is never powerless. If you feel unqualified, remember love is the first qualification. If you feel behind, remember His timing is not late, it is layered. You are permitted to begin again and again and again, because mercy is new when the sky is new. Now go with this covering. May the Father steady your heart. May the Son walk beside you as brother and Lord. May the Holy Spirit breathe wisdom into your choices. May your home know peace, your mind know clarity, your body know rest, your work know purpose. May every interruption become an appointment, and every burden become a meeting place for grace. You will not carry this day by yourself. You will carry it with Him, and that changes everything. Morning has a way of telling the truth. Before notifications and noise rush in, your soul can finally speak up. Let it. Admit where you feel thin, where courage flickers, where hope feels like a small flame cupped by both hands. You don't have to fix yourself first. You just have to bring yourself. This is where the day becomes holy, not because everything is tidy, but because everything is surrendered. Some burdens hide in plain sight. They sit in the to-do list, disguised as responsibility, but underneath, they're fear wearing a neat shirt. Name them. Say what you're afraid will happen if you slow down, if you say no, if you're honest about limits. Then set those fears down where grace can reach them. When you do, watch how the pace inside you shifts from frantic to faithful. You are not withdrawn from life. You are welcome in the One who gives life shape. There will be choices today that look small from the outside but feel enormous inside your chest. A response you'll send, a tone you'll choose, a moment you'll either rush past or receive. Treat these thresholds like altars. Before you step through, pause long enough to ask for a heart that prefers wisdom to winning, presence to performance, truth to approval. You don't have to be dramatic to be devoted. Quiet faithfulness is a language heaven understands. If fatigue sits on your shoulders like a heavy coat, trade it for gentleness toward yourself. You can't pour from a heart you keep scolding. Kindness toward your own weakness isn't compromise. It's consent for God to move where you cannot. Let your inner critic get smaller and the shepherd's voice grow clearer. He does not drive you with shame. He leads you with love. Follow the leading, even when it means slower steps or simpler plans. Relationships will test and teach you. Some conversations will need courage, others restraint. Ask for a presence that carries peace into rooms without announcing itself. Defensiveness may knock. It always does. Instead of opening the door, open your palms. You're free to listen without losing yourself. You're free to bless without becoming a doormat. You're free to forgive without pretending nothing hurt. Grace can hold both truth and tenderness at once. You are learning the same art. Work calls, and that calling is not separate from prayer. Make your desk a sanctuary by choosing integrity when shortcuts whisper. Make your commute a liturgy by letting gratitude keep time with your steps. Make your craft an offering by caring about the parts no one praises. Excellence becomes worship when it is rooted in love, not ego. If you fail, and at some point you will, let humility be your way home, not your punishment. Begin again the way morning begins again without apology. When your mind tries to sprint ahead to outcomes you can't control, come back to the next faithful thing. that next email written with clarity, that next task done without complaint, that next glass of water you drink like a small promise to honor the body God gave you. Peace grows where attention is honest and present. You're not trying to conquer a mountain by noon. You're walking with a guide who knows every bend in the trail. Memories may surface that make you wince, moments you'd rewrite if you could. Resist the urge to relitigate your past in the court of your own. Perfectionism. Mercy already rendered its verdict. Instead of rehearsing what went wrong, practice receiving what's being made right. Your story is not a museum of failures. It's a living field where God keeps planting new beginnings. Tend what's growing. Pull the weeds you can. Leave weather and seasons to Him. There's a quiet kind of courage that rarely trends. Staying gentle in a hard world. Choose it. Gentleness doesn't mean you won't set boundaries. It means you'll set them without venom. It doesn't mean you'll say yes to every request. It means the yes you give will be clean and the no you offer will be kind. Let your words be seasoned with grace, especially when you're certain you're right. A healed tongue is a powerful instrument of peace. Notice beauty on purpose. A patch of light on the floor, steam lifting from your cup, a tree that didn't hurry and still became itself. These are not sentimental escapes. They are reminders that God's goodness is threaded through ordinary minutes. Gratitude doesn't cancel grief or pressure, but it prevents them from rewriting reality. When beauty catches your eye, let it become a small prayer. I see your hand. That recognition recalibrates the heart more than you think. If comparison starts its familiar whisper, look how far they are, look how little you've done, answer with truth. You are not running their race. You are keeping step with a Savior who writes bespoke journeys. What looks like delay can be formation. What looks like detour can be deliverance. What looks like quiet can be a conversation so deep it doesn't need noise. Trust that goodness isn't always loud and progress isn't always visible. Trust that being held is progress too. As noon approaches and demands stack up, keep a rhythm of returning. 2 slow breaths between tasks, a sentence of trust while the page loads, a soft lead me as you walk down the hall. These micro prayers are not scraps, they are stitches, and they hold the fabric of your attention together. You're not failing because you need to come back 100 times. Coming back is the way. There might be an interruption that feels like an inconvenience. Sometimes interruptions are invitations with poor timing. Ask for discernment. Is this a moment to serve or a moment to say later? Either way, let love be the source of your yes or no, not guilt, not image management. People can tell when they're being loved versus managed. So can you. Give what you can with a whole heart. Release what you can't with a clear one. When anxiety spikes, because it may, treat your body like a friend. Unclench your jaw. Drop your shoulders. Feel your feet. Make space inside for the presence that steadies you. You don't have to exile fear to walk in faith. You just have to refuse to let fear drive. Invite God into the precise place your chest tightens and let that spot become the meeting place. Prayer is most honest when it's specific. Toward evening, you'll look back on moments that didn't go as planned. Instead of counting failures, count the places you returned, the times you chose gentleness, the interruptions you received as grace, the boundaries you set without bitterness. These are not small victories. They are the quiet architecture of a life being remade. Let gratitude close the loop on what grace opened this morning, and if loneliness shows up uninvited, answer it with communion. Reach out to someone who needs a word, even a short one. Pray for a name that surfaces and send blessing their way. Community often begins with a single unselfish minute. You do not heal in isolation. You heal in the presence of God and the presence of people. And sometimes the first presence leads you gently to the second. Before the day slips away, seal what has been given. You asked to be accompanied, and you were. You asked for grace, and you received it. Not always as a feeling, often as a steadiness that kept you from unraveling. Let that be enough. Let that be worship. Release what remains unfinished into hands that do not sleep. You are not disqualified by fatigue, nor disowned by questions, nor defined by productivity. You are the beloved, still becoming, still being led. So walk the remainder of this day under a blessing you didn't earn and cannot lose. May the presence that met you in the quiet keep you company in the noise. May decisions become simpler when filtered through love. May strength rise in just-in-time ways. May courage show up disguised as gentleness. And may peace guard the doorways of your heart like a trusted friend who knows the house by memory. Without God, you would be overwhelmed by the weight of it all. With Him, you are carried, and in that carrying, you learn how to live. Sunlight doesn't need your permission to enter a room. It simply arrives and changes the way everything looks. Let grace do the same in you now. Allow it to fall on the places you'd rather hide, the half-finished goals, the frayed patience, the conversations you replay in your head. Hiding never healed anyone. Exposure to mercy does. Let what is true be seen so what is wounded can be mended. Some prayers don't sound like prayers at all. They sound like the way you choose to listen when you're tired, the way you soften your tone when you're rushed, the way you keep a promise to yourself that no one else would notice if you broke. Keep offering those quiet yeses. Heaven reads fluently in the language of faithfulness. Nothing you entrust is wasted. Nothing you surrender is ignored. There will be moments when your confidence dips for no obvious reason. Don't panic. Don't perform. Return to the simple center. You are not the source, you are the branch. Apart from Him, you dry out. With Him, you hold fruit you didn't manufacture. Let that truth remove the pressure to be spectacular. Being connected is enough. From connection comes clarity. From clarity, courage. Perhaps a decision has been haunting you, a path that splits into two, a choice with costs on both sides. Invite wisdom to sit at the table. Imagine laying the options in front of God's steady gaze and asking not, which one makes me look strong, but which one keeps me close. Closeness is the compass today. If a choice draws you deeper into love, humility, and truth, you won't regret it, even if it's harder for a while. When frustration flares, let it be a signal rather than a script. Step back from the spike of emotion and ask what fear it's trying to protect. Usually there's a tender thing underneath. Fear of failing, of being misunderstood, of losing what you worked for. Hold that tender thing where grace can reach it. You can be honest about fear without obeying it. You can name anger without letting it draft your next sentence. Your workbench, whatever form it takes, is holy ground when you invite presence into it. Do the unseen tasks as if they will be prayed over later, because in a way they will. Everything done in love becomes a prayer. If you make with care. If you manage with fairness. If you serve with joy that doesn't depend on thanks. If discouragement lands heavy at midday, remind your soul that results are not the only evidence of purpose. Obedience is evidence too. Watch for the subtle ways comparison tries to thin your gratitude. A friend's good news is not your bad news. Their harvest does not steal your seed. Celebrate freely, bless generously. The God who authors their story has not misplaced the pen for yours. Your season will not be rushed by envy or delayed by faithfulness. Stay where your roots drink living water. Fruit knows when to show up. On days when your body speaks in aches and your mind feels fogged, treat limits as direction rather than defeat. You are human on purpose. Fatigue is not sin. It is a bell that calls you to gentler rhythms. Eat what nourishes, drink what steadies, rest in ways that restore rather than numb. Ask for the grace to make small, right choices, and let those choices accumulate into strength. You will likely meet someone today who needs the kindness you wished you had yesterday. Offer it. A sentence that doesn't dismiss their pain, a pause that makes room for them to finish, a smile that says, "You don't have to earn being seen." This does not require a platform, it requires presence. When in doubt, choose language that opens windows, not walls. Choose silence that listens, not silence that punishes. If a door closes and you feel the sting, do not rush to kick it back open. Sit long enough to ask whether that closure is a kindness disguised as disappointment. Protection rarely feels like protection at first. Trust can feel like empty hands until you notice they're free to receive what actually fits. Keep those hands open. Keep your spirit available. Keep your pace aligned with the one who knows why the detour matters. Every so often, check the story you're telling yourself about who you are. Replace the harsh fiction with a truer narrative, chosen, held, being formed, still becoming. Shame wants a headline that never changes. Not enough. Grace keeps writing updates, learning, healed here, growing there, still in progress, still beloved. Read the right story. Read it out loud if you must. When the afternoon stretches long and your focus thins, give yourself anchors, a single task completed with care, a short walk that resets your attention, a few words of gratitude for what you'd otherwise miss, the coworker who lightened your load, the email that carried clarity, the laughter that cracked the moment open. Let gratitude be the weight that keeps your heart from drifting into complaint. Conflict may find you. If it does, go slow. Ask for the sentence that tells the truth without a blade. Ask for ears that can hear beneath the surface. Ask for courage to apologize quickly where you contributed to the mess. Repair is holy work. It builds bridges where pride burns them. Even if reconciliation takes time, refuse to add splinters to the gap with careless words. Peacekeepers aren't passive, they're deliberate. You might get good news today. Receive it without fear that it will be snatched away. Enjoy gifts the way children do, fully without rehearsing loss. Gratitude protects joy from turning into clutching. If the news is hard, let comfort arrive the way rain does. Gradual, steady, soak in the ground you thought was too dry to receive anything good. Either way, refuse cynicism its favorite seat. Hope is not naive. It's disciplined attention to God's faithfulness. As shadows lengthen, take inventory with kindness. Where did grace carry you when you would have snapped last week? Where did patience hold when it usually frays? Where did courage speak softly and still change the room? Mark those places. They are proof that companionship was not theory. It was the quiet architecture of your day. You asked not to walk alone, and you didn't. Late evening turn your heart toward blessing. Speak it over your home, that doors would welcome peace and conversations would heal more than they hurt. Speak it over your rest, that sleep would be an act of trust rather than an escape. Speak it over tomorrow, that you would meet it from the center rather than the edges. Bless the ones you love by name and the ones who are difficult without naming what they did. Bless even those you won't see again. Your heart stays clean that way. Before you close the book on this day, return everything you picked up that was never yours to carry. Hand back the outcomes, the timelines, the secret measurements you use to decide whether you're worthy. Keep only what was asked of you: honesty, tenderness, attention, fidelity. Everything else can be safely placed where it always belonged. You were never meant to hold the whole world together. You were meant to be held while you do your part. And if there's one sentence to fold into your pillow tonight, let it be simple and true. You were accompanied. From first light to final task, grace moved quietly beside you, within you, around you. The weight was real, but so was the help. The questions remain, but they no longer have the final word. Without God, the day would have been impossible. With Him, it became a path you could actually walk, one step at a time, hand in hand, heart at rest. Morning keeps teaching you how to begin again. You don't need perfect language, only a willing heart. So keep walking through this day with the quiet decision you already made. You won't do it alone. Let the first task you touch become a small altar. Let the next conversation carry a little more patience than yesterday. Let the way you breathe remind your body that help is near. Without God, even simple things feel heavy. With Him, ordinary moments start to glow with purpose you can feel, but can't always explain. If worry tries to take the driver's seat, name what it says and hand it to the one who sees the road ahead. You are allowed to tell Him, you don't know how everything will work out. You are allowed to admit that your strength runs thin before lunch. That honesty doesn't weaken your faith. It strengthens your connection. Faith is not a stunt. It's a steady leaning. Lean again. Lean as many times as it takes. Presence meets you in the same place you fear you failed and keeps meeting you there until fear loses its voice. Let kindness begin in the way you speak to yourself. If an inner judge keeps tally, invite God to hold the pen. He writes in mercy. He remembers you are dust, and He delights to breathe life into dust. Choose one gentle sentence for yourself and carry it like a pocket prayer. I'm being led. I'm being formed. I'm not behind in God's story. That sentence won't make the hard things disappear, but it will make them bearable because love is sharing the weight, not standing at a distance giving advice. When you face a door you can't open, stand with dignity in the hallway. You are not abandoned in the in-between. Guidance often arrives in pieces, a nudge to slow down, a line of wisdom from a friend, a piece that doesn't match the facts. Take the piece you have and act on it. God rarely wastes clarity on what you won't use. If you need courage, ask for the kind that looks like a calm yes to the next right thing. If you need rest, ask for the kind that resets your heart, not just your schedule. You may meet someone today who feels invisible. God tends to send you to the very places you once felt unseen so you can notice what others miss. Look for eyes that avoid the room. Look for shoulders that carry more than bags. Offer a sentence that opens space. I'm glad you're here. No sermon, no pressure. Just welcome. The kingdom moves on simple welcomes more than we realize. This is how light works. Quiet, steady, practical. If your mind drifts toward what-ifs, bring it back with gratitude that is specific. Thank Him for clean water in your glass, for the message that arrived at the right time, for the small solution that spared you an hour of frustration, for the way the morning air felt like a blessing on your face. Specific gratitude trains the heart to see God already at work, which makes trust feel less like a jump and more like a step. Carry forgiveness like a spare key. You may need it for yourself by noon, and someone else may need it from you by evening. Forgiveness doesn't excuse harm. It releases you from rehearsing it. It keeps your hands free for better things. If repair is possible, move toward it with a soft voice and clear truth. If it isn't, release the knot into hands bigger than yours and ask for peace to hold the place where bitterness wants to grow. There will be moments when silence feels like a wall. Let it become a window instead. Not all silence is absence. Often it is God teaching you how to notice Him in ways you used to miss, in the patience that steadies your tone, in the creative idea that lands after a pause, in the strength to say, "Not now," without guilt. Listen for that quiet friendship. It's here, even when nothing dramatic is happening, especially then. When your work feels small, remember who measures. God counts seeds as carefully as harvests. Doing the right thing when no one is clapping is not wasted. It is worship. If your task is to hold a line, hold it with love. If your task is to start again, begin without shame. If your task is to wait, wait with expectation, not resignation. Expectation doesn't demand a timeline. It looks for God in the meantime. If pain rises, old grief, new loss, let it be witnessed. Say, "This hurts," and let that be a prayer. You don't need to find a lesson while you're still bleeding. Ask for the man of sorrows to sit beside you, to keep you company until the ache stops shouting. Comfort is not always an answer. Sometimes it's simply a presence that refuses to leave. That refusal is salvation in slow motion, and it will carry you further than quick fixes ever could. As the afternoon stretches, choose small faithfulness. Finish one thing. Send one blessing. Take one honest breath that says, "I am here, and you are here." This is not pretending everything is fine. This is agreeing that you are not alone in what isn't fine. Agreement changes posture. Posture changes choices. Choices shape the day. Toward evening, look back without cruelty. See where you were held, when patience outlasted pressure, when you spoke gently under strain, when you caught yourself before a careless word escaped. Call those moments what they are, grace appearing in her own voice and body. Let gratitude rise, not as a performance, but as a truthful report. God walked with you. He guided. He gave what you didn't have when you needed it. If there's still a knot in your chest, lay it where you've laid other knots and trust the slow untying. If there is joy, let it be shared, even in a small way. A message, a laugh at the table, a quiet song while washing dishes. Joy multiplies when it's not hoarded. And if you're simply tired, let enough for today be holy words. Enough work, enough worry, enough trying to be what you think others need. You do not have to finish the world. You can trust the God who neither sleeps nor panics. Before sleep, gather your soul the way you'd gather a child, gently, without scolding. Bless your home, even if it is one room. Bless your body, even if it aches. Bless your tomorrow, even if you don't know what it holds. Pray for those you love and those you struggle to love. Ask for clean rest and a clear morning. Ask for dreams that untangle the day. Ask for a night guarded by peace that passes understanding, not because you earned it, but because He loves to give it. And here at the end, return to the sentence that keeps you steady. Without God, you cannot carry this life. With Him, you are carried. Let that truth tuck you in. Let it close the open loops that don't need your worry overnight. Let it remind you that you are not a project to be perfected, but a person being loved into wholeness, day by day, grace by grace. If this prayer met you, stay with us on this journey. Subscribe to the channel, share it with someone who needs a gentle word, and leave a simple comment. I surrender completely to God. Your presence here matters. Your story matters. And by His mercy, we'll meet again in the next prayer. Another small beginning, another chance to walk with Him. Until then, may the Lord bless you and keep you, make His face shine upon you, and give you peace. Amen.